Hello, welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. Here in California, there is a growing divide between our coastal and our inland areas. That is one of the major findings from a recent summit. And here to tell us more about is Paul Granillo. He is the head of the Inland Empire Economic Partnership. Thanks for being here.
It's great to be here.
Tell us about what you learned from the California Economic Summit.
So the California Economic Summit is based on the fact that California's economy is an economy of regions. And so through a process where small regional forums were held, issues arose. And we saw that some of the very same issues that affect the Inland Empire also affect most of inland California. And those are going to be educational attainment levels that aren't sufficient for the workforce that we need, poverty levels, growing levels of poverty, and yet you hear the story in Silicon Valley, in San Francisco, about the multiplicity of millionaires, certainly all the innovation that's going on in the Silicon Valley. And what we're seeing more and more is a divide, coastal and inland, of the economies of California.
What has led to this growing divide?
Well, a lot of it is post the recession. We still have to look at the fact that the world is changing. So for the Inland Empire, a place like the Inland Empire where, you know, a lot of our people work in food service, and yet Applebee's is now placing iPads on the tables so that you can order and pay, right? Well, that endangers the job of the food workers. We've seen Amazon that the more, especially during Christmas, so the more that we buy things using e-commerce, that also affects the people who work in retail. And Macy's recently, JCPenney's announcing layoffs because more people are buying using technology than actually going into stores.
So you see the growing divide with education and economics, but you're not just here to observe, you are here to do something about it. You have built a team.
Sure. So coming out of the California Economic Summit, we said, okay, obviously there's a problem. How are we going to fix it? So what we're in the process now of doing is creating the Inland California Coalition, uniting Imperial, the Inland Empire, all the way up to Fresno. Business organizations, we're hoping to work with the Cal State system that serves that area, the workforce investment boards, and our local elected officials. And so that we can bring some attention to these issues. And they're issues of lack of funding to combat some of these problems, and lack of acknowledgement that these are issues, because sometimes the inland areas, we don't have the means to get our message out.
So with this added attention, what are you hoping you're going to be able to accomplish?
Well, I think if you can get people to work together at scale, then you can help solve big problems. And the growing levels of poverty that we see in California disproportionately affect the inland counties. And when you have areas with large poverty issues, you get public health issues. And that's not the California dream, that one area is better than another. If California is going to be successful, then all of California has to work on these issues.
And when you come together, all of these leaders from different areas, they bring their strengths and they feed on each other.
Oh, absolutely. Their strengths and their ideas. And there's a lot of people doing a lot of good work. But we're talking about a state of 38 million people.
Paul Granillo, good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for being here. And thank you for joining us. I'm Leslie Leyton.